So, it's the weekend again. Well, it's because I've had the week off. Not that I've really enjoyed it, to be honest. But because I've had the week off, you sort of lose track of your days, don't you? You know, Friday starts to feel like Saturday, and Saturday you can't remember what bloody day it is, and you know, it's just, it all melts, doesn't it? So, but yeah, it's definitely Sunday today. So, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, sometimes it just seems so hard to get on and get things done, and you know, because you know the minute you start doing something for yourself, the wife will want something, need something. You know, I mean, it was like she had this list of stuff that she wanted done, and you know, it's not all done. I mean, I've been at the son's house. I was supposed to be hanging 4 doors, I've hung 2. The first one was ridiculous. It actually took me knocking 2 hours basically to get this door trimmed to fit and put all the hardware on it and get it operational. And the thing was, it was obviously they're modern doors. This is an older house, and you know, obviously they never fit, but it's one of these hollow doors, you know, that's just got like the wooden area for planing all the way around. And when you need, I mean, my electric planer will take off 4 mil in one bite, and when you've got to do what ended up as 5 passes at each end. In fact, I went through, on the first door, I actually went through the top bearer, you know, that now has a hole in it. It was just a nightmare. You know what it's like, and then you eventually hang them, and then you find it needs a little bit taken off, so you've got to take it back off again, and it's always where you can't actually get with it hung, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, and my knees were absolutely playing up that day. I was feeling quite rough physically. But then I went back another day, and what it is because it's raining, I don't want to take me electric gear outside and start, you know, because the weather's just been on and off all over the place. You know, it's been, hey, look at that, it's sunny, and then it's been, oh, look at that, it's bloody raining again. You know, all in the space of minutes it can just change. We've just had this huge massive cloud blowing over all the time. I mean, even now I've got some really dark patches that look like it's going to chuck it down, but then right through it you see a nice little blue patch. So, and then it's like, oh no, it's going to be sunny. But yeah, so I went back, was it yesterday? Friday I was back there, this time doing some plumbing work. Now, my original calling in life was cabinet making. I made furniture, then moved on and chased the money to the caravans and what have you. And I've always been sort of like hands-on anyway. You know, from a young age I used to go on jobs with my dad, helping him fit showers and all sorts. You know, he was an electrician, so. But so yeah, I mean, you know, and then I went to college to do plumbing while I was off work ill, so you know. So I fitted in some new taps. I went and re-washed them all and reground the seats on the old ones a week or 2 back, but it was still leaking, and he's on a water meter, so of course it needed done really. So he's had these taps shut down so that they couldn't be used in the downstairs toilet. So I've been and putting some new taps on there anyway, and then at the same time, apparently the worst of the leakage from the house because they had this hoo-ha with Yorkshire Water over where all the water was going. But yeah, it turns out now they are awkward to see, and when you've got kids in the house, you don't normally hear all like these finer sounds, do you? And what it was, they had a gentle leak down the upstairs toilet, and what it is you know your modern. That was my plumbing. I don't know if you heard that. I was with a plumbing tool just dropping out the box into the boot. The modern regulations are that toilets now have to be internal overflow, so you don't have that pipe stuck out the back wall anymore with water dripping out of it when you get a leak in the valve. So, and of course, on a nice clean bit of porcelain, you don't always see fresh water running down it. And when you've got kids around, you don't hear the constant little hiss. So, yeah, you can use a fair bit of water before you find out. You know, at least when you had the overflow pipe at the backyard, that water was going back into the water table anyway. Yes, it takes longer to get back into the water system, but you know, you still had that reminder. You went out and it's like, oh yeah, I must get that fixed. So, you know, you knew it was happening. Nowadays, unless you're a little more astute, you don't know you've got a leak in the toilet. So anyway, so I went and had a look at it. It's one of those bloody B&Q specials that you can't really revalve them or anything. I had to play around with it, couldn't get it to work, so in the end I just thought, sod it, and went into town, down to one of the plumbing merchants, and bought, you might not know the name, they're called a Torbeck valve. I've always fitted them as like a replacement because they are actually a nice valve. You can get them bottom feed or side feed, and they just work great. They fill quieter and they fill quickly as well. So that's why I got them. Fitted that and job done. So I've been joinering plumbing. I've been at work, here at home. What have I done? Not a lot here at home. Managed to get a few nails in the wall for pictures for the missus. The other one she wants in, I can't use nails, they have to be screws because it's in the older half of the house, which is the old council houses. They're actually built, they're pretty much solid brick in the original external walls. Blocks didn't get used until they did a rework on them some years later. But they're brick, and then they've got like a sand and cement render, which is only a fairly thin layer, and then a skim of plaster over the top, and that's how they were built. Good solid houses, don't get me wrong, but then not great if you want to put a nail in the wall. Even masonry nails, whatever, it makes a mess, so it's easier just to get a drill, spend a little bit more time, and do a good job. So that's what we need, but she hasn't decided fully where she wants these putting in the wall yet for hanging her pictures on. In the newer part of the house, it's just a nail, you know, just a little 2-inch pin. What else? Not a lot else really, and like I say, the wind's been up, so I haven't been able to go and fly the drone much. It's either been the wind up or it's been raining, or the wife's had one of her carers go off on a holiday break as well, which doesn't help, which means I'm needed more around the house and what have you. So getting out and about, only if it's stuff for the food and for the wife. We finally got our freezer. That was good. 2 weeks. 2 bloody weeks, and it's turned up damaged. It's not going to affect its function. Basically, I opened it up. A couple of cats. I saw something in the corner of my eye, and it was a couple of cats scrapping in the tree, and then they've dropped out and run off over there. I've forgotten what I was saying now. What was I saying? Yeah, freezer. I couldn't remember. Yeah, the freezer. So opened it up, and the top compartment, because all I've got is an upright. I got sick of chest freezers, as I've said in a previous vlog. So we've gone with an upright. It's just one of those that's about 5 foot tall, about neck height on me, and it's only a 550 wide. So and it's got 4 drawers. Yeah, I think it's 4 drawers and a top compartment that's basically a flap. It's not really got much in it yet. We need to go and get our frozen food back that was shipped off around and about to friends and family. But yeah, it turned up on Friday, and so this flap at the top had like 2 cracks in it, either side of the handle. They're not like full through and through. They're about probably that long each, something like that. And we thought, well, it's not going to be on show, and you know damn well they won't send you a new thing, they won't give you money off, they're going to want you to send the entire product back. So we'd have to rewrap it, get onto them, they'll send you a new one, then you'll have to arrange another shipping date to have the old one collected. And you know what it's like no, just for that, no. And then I took the top packaging off, and I was inspecting it all before I took it to the shed, and it had in the back right corner of the plastic top a crack about 2.5–3 inches long, and a slight ding in the metalwork beneath it on the back corner, sort of thing. So it had obviously been bashed against something in transit. And I told the wife, and she was like, oh, do we send it back or what? And the thing is, when you've waited 2 weeks and you've been having to run around and just buy frozen bits and pieces one at a time, use them, sort of thing. It's like when we wanted peas, it was either tinned peas, or if you couldn't get tinned peas, it was like a bag of the cheapest frozen peas you could find. So it was like Tesco's finest, 50p a bag. So you used what you needed, and the rest just, you had to get rid, really, unless anybody wanted them. So basically, because it's going in the shed, I said, had it been in the house, it'd be no question, it'd be going back. But because it's in the shed, you're not going to see it. It doesn't affect its function. It still works. So we've opted to keep it, but the wife is still going to email them and kick off at them and tell them, we had to wait 2 weeks. It's a bag of crap, basically. You treat it like crap, or your carriers have. Do something about it, basically. I mean, if they offer a discount on something or whatever, then great, that's fine, but I can't see that happening. But just so that you've got the complaint in, but under no, had it been in the house, that would have been going back, but like I say, it's in the shed. I mean, I found something unusual about freezers a few years ago, actually, and a freezer is supposed to be rated as to whether it can go outside or in the shed, outside or indoors. And apparently, this is the strange part, I was told that most chest freezers aren't actually got the rating to sit outside in a shed. Now that is really, really unusual. Because really a chest freezer is it's always like a spare freezer. It doesn't normally go inside. They're normally something that you would stick out in an outbuilding or whatever. Unless you have got a really big kitchen with like a utility room off it or something like that. But normally a chest freezer goes outside. Always has for us. Apart from my parents' old house, that was big enough to have a chest freezer until I reworked the kitchen a number of years ago and made the kitchen much bigger, and then they moved it down to the shed. But yeah, that was a strange one, that when I found out that they don't actually, not many of them get rated for sheds, and the ones that are rated for sheds are extremely dear. So there's a useful bit of information for you guys. Right, I'm going in. All right. It's yeah, it's been a bit of an odd day. I keep hearing that noise. I keep thinking I see something up there in the tree. So yeah, anyway guys, it's been quite an escapade. I've got everything done anyway, all my tea's done, and well, you know, it's all in the process now, so, and I'm just going to go back to it, so I'll catch up in a bit guys. Alright, I'm going to be stuffed after this. So, most enjoyable, but I am stuffed. Oh, and I've got all this to clean up yet. Yeah, one load's already gone through the dishwasher. I've got another one to do. So I'm making a brew. So where did we get to? Another problem that got solved was the car. That's been MOT'd now at the cost of a tyre. So MOT and a tyre was 90 something pounds. I was quite surprised actually, I was expecting more than that. Plus of course the fine, so nearly 200 quid for the car MOT'd. So, you know, there you go, it's done anyway. And I won't forget because I've got a little tag on the keyring now as well. Other news. Oh yes, I'm going to be a grandfather again. Yes, a few weeks ago the youngest daughter announced that her and her husband are pregnant, so yes, got another one on the way now. They'll never leave me alone. So it's a bit dark here. Neighbour's having a fire as well. Stinks. I think he's been burning a bit of rubber on it or something. Thought she was snoring and she's supposed to be taking her pills. But so yeah, I'm going to be a grandfather yet again, even though I've just been again. So this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had to think then. Well, I was counting on my fingers. They'll be disgusted when they see that. Don't you know how many grandkids you've got? Oh dear. So anyway, back to work tomorrow, away from all the madness that is home. And I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it guys, to be honest. It's been fun, it's been emotional. I haven't got anything else to say, I don't think. Just looking at the wind, it's still a little bit on the breezy side. Just keep getting the odd gust that just might be a little bit strong for the drone, like. So that's the trouble with them, because once they go over a certain, oh my god, those flames are getting huge. Sorry, it's the other side of the garden anyway. Yeah, it's like, because they've got to be kept under a certain weight before they get too big, and then you've got to get special licenses for them and stuff like that. And because they're so light, they're then affected by the wind more. So obviously, if you're ever buying one, the heaviest consumer one on the market, which is probably something like the Inspire, DJI Inspire, which is a stunning drone, which I think there might be a new model of that coming, because they have heftily discounted the version 1 of it. I think that's around about one of the heaviest you can get before you go up to professional stuff, whereby you need special licenses and what have you. But something like that, they're much more stable in higher winds, so it's worth bearing in mind if any of you ever decide to buy one. you know, and you want something really stable that you can take out more often, sort of thing, you'll get a lot more use out of it. But this wind, it's quite sort of, yeah, it's not bad now, it has dropped, but we're still getting these gusts every now and then. But anyway, guys, I've told you pretty much everything. Like I say, nothing particularly fun ever happens in my life, but there you go. So, until next time, look after yourselves. Have a good end of your weekend and enjoy next week. Cheers, guys. See ya.